She walked into a luxury restaurant, disguised as an ordinary woman. People whispered, mocked, and judged her for looking poor. But when the black waiter serving her slipped her a quiet message with her steak, her entire world stopped. What he wrote left her speechless and changed her life forever. Amelia was one of the most powerful women in the city. Known for her business empire, designer clothes, and extravagant lifestyle, she lived a life most could only dream of. Yet in her heart, she carried a constant question: do people treat me with kindness because they respect me or because of my money? She wanted to know what the world looked like without her riches, without her last name. So one winter evening, she put on an old jacket, tied her hair back, wore no makeup, and walked into the city's most prestigious steakhouse. Her test had begun. From the moment she stepped through the golden doors, whispers followed. Wealthy diners eyed her clothes with disdain. A couple at the bar smirked. "She doesn't belong here." Even some of the staff frowned, assuming she couldn't afford the cheapest item on the menu. But Amelia stayed calm. She asked for a table for one. The hostess hesitated, but finally seated her in a corner near the kitchen doors, a place usually reserved for those they didn't value. As she looked around at the sparkling chandeliers, velvet chairs, and finely dressed patrons, Amelia realized how quickly appearances shape judgment. Tonight she wasn't the millionaire, she was the outsider. Her server that night was Marcus, a tall, kind-eyed black waiter in his 30s who had worked there for years. Unlike the others, Marcus didn't look at her jacket or shoes. He looked at her eyes, and what he saw wasn't a poor woman. It was someone carrying weight and searching for something more. When Amelia quietly ordered the house steak, Marcus simply smiled and said, "Good choice. I'll make sure it's perfect for you." No sarcasm, no doubt, just dignity. As Amelia ate, she couldn't ignore the stares. A table nearby whispered loudly, mocking, "Maybe she saved all year for one meal." Another man laughed, "She'll never pay that bill." The words cut, even though Amelia knew she could buy the entire restaurant. But she stayed silent, observing, feeling firsthand how the world treated those it thought were beneath them. Marcus, however, continued serving her with warmth, refilling her glass, checking on her meal, and treating her like she belonged. When Amelia finished, Marcus brought the bill on a silver tray, but tucked inside was something unexpected, a folded note. Confused, she opened it. In neat handwriting, it read, "Don't let their whispers dim your worth. Real value isn't worn on your body. It's carried in your soul. You belong anywhere you walk with dignity." Amelia froze. Her eyes stung with tears. She had come here to test the world, but instead, the world had tested her, and Marcus had given her the answer she needed. When Amelia stood to leave, she walked straight to Marcus. "Do you know who I am?" she asked quietly. He shook his head, smiling politely. "To me, you're just a guest, and every guest deserves respect." The restaurant went silent as Amelia pulled off her disguise. A hush fell over the room as whispers turned into shock. The woman they had mocked was Amelia Hart, the billionaire philanthropist whose name was known across the city. Gasps echoed. Diners stared, ashamed of their words. The hostess turned pale. Amelia turned to Marcus. "Tonight, you reminded me of something I had forgotten. Money doesn't buy respect. Kindness does. And you gave me both." Amelia didn't just leave a tip. She offered Marcus something greater, a management role in one of her companies where his wisdom and dignity could inspire others. From that night on, Marcus's life changed. No longer overlooked, no longer just a waiter, he became a leader, teaching others the value of respect, no matter a person's appearance. And the diners who once laughed, they never forgot the night they mocked a poor woman, only to discover she was wealthier than them all, yet humbled by a waiter's handwritten note. Amelia's experiment taught her something she could never forget. The world often sees only clothes, titles, and wealth. But true character, real humanity, shines when you strip all of that away. And sometimes it's the voices of those society overlooks, the waiter, the worker, the ordinary soul, that remind us of the truths we most need to hear. She disguised herself to test the world, but instead, she discovered its heart. And through the voice of a humble waiter, she learned that the greatest riches aren't found in gold or silver, but in kindness, respect, and dignity. If this story touched your heart, remember, true wealth isn't what you own. It's how you treat others.